John Deere just made a move that sent shockwaves through Washington and lit up trading floors from Wall Street to Sao Paulo. What looked like a smart business expansion on paper quickly turned into a much bigger conflict. A battle that touches everything, from trade rules and political loyalty to the future of American jobs. The company officially announced plans to expand in Mexico. Not someday, not just a future idea. Construction is already starting, with a brand new factory set to open in 2026. And the reaction? Explosive. Before we go further, make sure to like this video to help us beat the YouTube algorithm and show your support. Donald Trump reacted instantly. He went on live TV and blasted the company, calling the move a betrayal. Then he made it clear he's ready to hit back with a 200% tariff on every single John Deere product built outside the US. The message? If you take American jobs elsewhere, your products will pay the price to come back in. The media jumped on the story. Investors froze. And rural Americans, many of whom rely on Deere and support Trump, were stuck in the crossfire. This wasn't just news, it was a wake-up call. Deere didn't come to this decision overnight. Behind closed doors, board members debated for months. They had all the numbers, all the trends, and all the pressure. The facts were clear. Building machines in the United States had become incredibly expensive. Supply chains were jammed. Labor was hard to find. Meanwhile, global competitors like Kubota in Japan and Mahindra in India had already nailed down faster, cheaper, and smarter production overseas. Deere was falling behind. So they looked south, to Mexico. 70% lower labor costs, a skilled, ready workforce, and easy access to the booming Latin American farming markets. But this wasn't just about saving money on wages. It was about staying in the game. U.S. ports were backed up. Domestic shipping was all over the place. Raw materials kept getting delayed. Every hiccup meant lost time and rising costs. A plant in Mexico gave Deere the speed, agility, and location they needed to tap into explosive ag markets like Brazil, Argentina, and Colombia. So Deere pulled the trigger. They announced a $55 million investment to build a state-of-the-art factory focused on mid-frame skid steer loaders and compact track loaders. Machines made for the fastest-growing slice of farming, small to mid-size farms that demand high-tech speed and, most importantly, affordable machines. For Deere, this wasn't a betrayal, it was a business move, a way to stay competitive and serve a growing global market. But for Trump, it felt personal. Before we dive deeper, make sure to hit that subscribe button to support the channel. He stood at a podium in Iowa and shouted, "John Deere just insulted American workers. They want to make our machines somewhere else? Fine, but they won't bring them back without a heavy price." It fired up his base, but it was more than just red meat politics. It was a warning. A clear shot across the bow, directed at Deere, other manufacturers, and even Wall Street. Trump was drawing a hard line, and anyone who crossed it would face political consequences. But Deere didn't flinch. There was no apology, no backtracking. Instead, the company issued a calm, direct response. The Mexico expansion, they said, would affect less than 5% of their North American output. Their main business, tractors, harvesters, and combines, would still be built in the U.S., in Iowa, Illinois, and other American plants. They weren't abandoning the U.S., they were adjusting to a global market. Then came Wall Street's reaction. After a brief drop, Deere's stock bounced back. Analysts at Bloomberg and Goldman Sachs supported the decision. They called it strategic, smart, and necessary. The reasoning? Agricultural demand was shifting southward. So production needed to follow. And while politically motivated tariffs could cause some short-term pain, they weren't enough to derail a decades-long growth strategy. In fact, some insiders believe Trump's threats could accidentally help Deere. If tariffs go into effect, they'll hit all foreign manufacturers. But Deere, despite expanding into Mexico, still builds most of its equipment in the United States. Rivals like Mahindra, Yanmar, and Kubota can't say the same. So ironically, Trump's tariffs might hurt Deere's competitors even more. But none of that mattered in the public spotlight. Among rural voters, especially in swing states, the issue sparked division. In Facebook groups and on talk radio, it felt like a family feud. Some defended Deere as an important business adapting to survive. Others saw the move as betrayal and demanded loyalty. Trump supporters in Congress also jumped in. Senators from deep red states issued strong warnings to Deere. The House Agriculture Committee planned hearings. The White House even hinted at looking into government contracts, suggesting they might block taxpayer money from going toward Deere imports. Behind the scenes, Deere's lobbyists went into action. They met with trade officials, they visited lawmakers. They reminded everyone that Deere isn't just a company, it's a foundation of U.S. agriculture. Without their equipment, rural infrastructure would suffer. Punishing Deere would end up hurting the very farmers the tariffs were supposed to protect. Still, Trump turned up the heat. At a rally in Ohio, he brought up Deere 5 times. He promised to slap them with massive tariffs they'd never forget. The crowd cheered. But Deere wasn't alone. Other companies were watching, closely. If John Deere had backed down, the message would have echoed far beyond boardrooms. No international business could make strategic decisions without fearing government punishment. It would have said loud and clear, if you don't follow the political script, you'll pay the price. But Deere hasn't backed down, at least not yet. And that matters. Because if Deere holds the line, it sets a powerful new precedent. A world where business leaders prioritize logic, long-term strategy, and hard data over temporary political threats or campaign-driven ultimatums. So far, Deere seems ready to weather the storm. But there's more to the story than just where Deere builds its machines. The company is now deeply focused on what it builds. And that shift changes everything. The future of agriculture, it's no longer red, white, and blue, or even green. It's electric, it's autonomous, it's intelligent. John Deere has become a tech company in disguise. Its investment in smart farming is enormous. Driverless tractors are already rolling through American fields, navigating acres without a human behind the wheel. Behind the scenes, Deere's software teams are designing AI systems that can run an entire farm from a single tablet. Imagine this. Drones flying overhead to inspect crops, detecting pests and plant diseases before a farmer ever sets foot outside. Precision sprayers applying just the right amount of treatment, accurate to the centimeter. Data flows in real time, machines respond instantly, and farms become fully optimized systems. And here's the part no politician wants to say out loud. These machines don't care where they were built. They care about performance. They care about output. They care about efficiency, and nothing else. Which brings us back to the myth that still dominates campaign stages. The promise to bring jobs back. It sounds inspiring. It taps into real pain from people who've seen factories close, and it earns political points. But here's the truth no one claps for. In the world of modern manufacturing, that promise is an illusion. Even if John Deere moved every single factory back to Iowa tomorrow, those jobs wouldn't go to people. They'd go to robots. Why? Because automation isn't political, it's mathematical. According to Oxford Economics, up to 20 million manufacturing jobs around the world could vanish by 2030 due to robots. And the shift isn't slowing, it's speeding up. Deere isn't turning away from American labor. It's staring directly into a future where labor, as we've known it, simply doesn't exist anymore. Seen in that light, Deere's decision to build in Mexico isn't just about lowering costs. It's a strategic evolution. A clear signal that the era of geography is fading and the era of smart technology is taking over. And this is why the Deere versus Trump situation is so symbolic. On one side, you have a president offering a return to a world that feels safe and familiar, a world of factories, paychecks, and industrial pride. On the other side, you have a company preparing for a world that's already here, a world of machine learning, smart software, and global logistics. This is more than just a policy disagreement, it's nostalgia versus innovation, emotion versus execution. And somewhere in the middle stands the American farmer, the one person who just wants reliable, affordable equipment to get food on the table for everyone else. So what happens next? That might just depend on you. Will voters blame Deere for making a bold move it believes is necessary for survival? Or will they turn on the politicians who risk cutting off farmers from the technology they depend on? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Because this isn't just a tariff fight, it's a fight over the future of work, technology, and who really gets to lead. If this deep dive gave you something to think about, smash that like button and subscribe for more breakdowns like this one. Stay sharp, stay curious, and remember the machines are coming, but politics, they're already here.